A social media post has advocates of human trafficking victims talking tonight. The post claims a woman was drugged and taken to a warehouse right here in Nashville to be exploited. Police tell us they don't have a record of this incident, but News 4's Joshua Cole tonight talked to authorities who say trafficking is often a lot more complicated than this. Joshua?
Hey there. Yeah, well, a social media post about someone being drugged and kidnapped is, of course, going to be taken very seriously. Advocates say that trafficking here in the Nashville area often looks like prostitution. Victims are manipulated by people they're close with, and often it's someone younger.
They're thinking the only way that could ever happen to me is if I was drugged and kidnapped.
Margie with In Slavery, Tennessee says a social media post claiming a woman kidnapped and found after nearly being sex trafficked is good for awareness, dangerous for what sex trafficking really often looks like in Middle Tennessee.
Mostly we see either familial trafficking, which means you're brought in very young. Anytime commercial sex involves force, fraud, or coercion, then that's trafficking.
The worry, she says, the post misrepresents how many fall victim.
And I think it does a disservice to victims who are trafficked at young ages by family, who are coerced and manipulated and romanced, unsuspectingly by a trafficker.
Margie says her group saw more than 300 referrals of possible trafficking last year in Middle Tennessee. The TBI says their tip line saw the number more than double statewide. And this year, roughly 500 tips have already come in. Margie says the pandemic is making finding victims difficult.
We don't necessarily think trafficking has decreased. Victims are finding it, I think, more difficult to find services.
Authorities say they actively investigate all tips, some leading to busts, like earlier this year in Murray County. More than a dozen people were arrested after multiple busts of a sex trafficking ring.
Yeah, Margie went on to say that what makes the situation like this with the social media post more difficult is that we don't know who originally posted it. Police again say that they have no record of it, though she says after talking with her, she says she even sent the post on to authorities as well as a tip to be looked into. Tracy?
All right, Joshua Cole, thank you so much. And if you suspect someone may be a victim of human trafficking out there, or if you need help yourself, you can call TBI's Human Trafficking Hotline, the number right there on your screen.